Well, it's home. I've lived in many different areas of the country as my father was traveling with the Army, and this always felt like home to me.
And finally, a position opened up in some place called Milledgeville, which I'd never even heard of, and I never even thought of living in the South. But I came down here and fell in love with it.
Some people like the hustle and bustle, but some people like the small community. We've got a lot of retirees that are moving here from Atlanta and larger places, and once they get here, they feel like they've died and gone to heaven.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Milledgeville and to my trolley, Millie. My name is Sarah Brantley, and this is James, our driver. We're so glad that you came to Milledgeville. I wish I could say that I was born and raised in Milledgeville, but I was an Army brat. My parents grew up here. My dad went into the Army and became a pilot. This was home base, though, and so we came back on vacations and whenever he served overseas. So this was a very special place to me, where family was, and where I learned a lot about the history of Milledgeville when I was a child. So I'm really glad to be able to share it with you today. It is a bit of a step. Got it? All right. All right, this building that you're looking at is the old Capitol building, which was begun in 1805. The first legislation was held here in 1807 before it was completed, but it was a rectangular brick building at first. And then in the 1820s and 30s is when they added the stucco over the bricks and scored that stucco to look like large blocks of stone, giving it a very powerful look, like a castle or a fortress. They also extended the wings on the north and south ends, completing the architectural style that we know of as Gothic Revival, making this building the first in America, the first public building in this architectural style. I have the best job ever in Milledgeville, to be able to welcome people to our town, guests who come from all over, not just all over the state of Georgia, but all over the nation and all over the world, who come to visit Milledgeville because we are the antebellum capital of Georgia. Atlanta was hit very hard by the Sherman's troops on his march to the sea, because Atlanta had been very outspoken against the Union and against the war. But when they got to Milledgeville, they did not encounter a lot of resistance, because most of our men were away at war, leaving behind women and children and elderly and slaves. Not much of a military threat. Well, people do come and ask about Flannery O'Connor. A lot of people are fascinated with her works, and what fascinates me is her sense of humor in private. And many of her letters were combined and compiled into a book called The Habit of Being. And some of my favorite sayings from that are, "When in Rome, do as you've done in Milledgeville." And my other favorite is, "Total non-retention has kept my education from being a burden to me."
So what they wanted was the capital to be more centrally located. They wanted it to be right in the middle of Georgia as much as possible. So their Governor John Millage sent out an exploring expedition in 1803 to look to see where would be a good spot. And it was headed by John Clark, who later became governor. But anyway, they came up the Oconee River, and this is about as far as they could navigate on it before it got too rocky and shaly. So when they located and founded Milledgeville in 1803, they saw a lot of freshwater springs, and one of them in particular, which is on this campus, was just gushing in the middle of all these live oaks and everything. They were hot and thirsty, and Mr. Clark had some whiskey in a little flask, and he mixed it with the water and took a drink, put down his staff and said, "This is it." What happened, Reconstruction was dominated by radical Republicans who took control of the South, and Milledgeville was a symbol of the Old South, the old slaveholding South. Atlanta was the up-and-coming new, business-oriented South. And that's the direction that the Republican Party of the day wanted things to go. Yeah, Milledgeville draws you in. People come here, they know it's the antebellum capital of Georgia. Another thing is Flannery O'Connor people come from all over the world, of which you saw in the grave is sort of typical. So a lot of people, a smaller group obviously, but a devoted group, are Flannery O'Connor fans. There's also a group, this is a little odd, called the Sons of the Desert, and they are Laurel and Hardy fans.
Oh, no, I'm Oliver Hardy. I'm Mr. Lawrence Financial Exchequer.
There's a huge global community of people that love Laurel and Hardy, the comedians. Well, Oliver Hardy grew up in this town, and he got interested in film here in this town.
Now, just how much for this legacy?
Oh, you Americans, you never seem to believe in formalities, do you?
Well, there's one thing about us. We always believe in business before pleasure. You see.
From 1903 to 1912-13, Oliver Hardy lived here. So real hardcore Laurel and Hardy fans know about Milledgeville from that perspective.
I live here on Lake Sinclair in Baldwin Canyon. Lived here pretty much all my life. I was born and raised here, and I've been fortunate enough to work for Georgia Power for the past 37 years. The lake was started back in 1929 is when it was initially started, and then it was stopped due to the war. It started back, stopped again, and it was completed and started holding water. Water started being backed up in 1953. I had a lot of family that had places on the lake growing up, and we would come out and you basically had to run to the middle of the lake. Learn how to swim on this lake. I learned how to ski on this lake. It was a great place, it was fun. The lake is used, but it's not overcrowded. We have a lot of young kids, young adults that come from the Atlanta area down here thinking they want to go be someplace else, but they get down here to Georgia College and this great asset we have here, the lake, and they fall in love with the small town, community, and I think the communities embrace them.
Iced chai latte. Hey, how can I help you? Oh, it's your birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I have a feisty sweetie?
Absolutely. I actually just started 2 weeks ago, so I'm kind of new. And in the summer, it's a little bit slower. We have more of our community members than we have of the college students. But when school's in session, this place is always packed. There's always a line. Going to school here? I don't know. I think it's a really comfortable place to be. It's one of the safest campuses in America. We have this thing called SNAP, so it's a cart that if you're like downtown and you've been drinking, it'll come and get you and take you back to your apartment, or it'll bring you downtown. So it's really safe, and all of the professors are really welcoming. And I don't know if you've gotten the chance to see our campus yet, but it's beautiful. Hey.
Can I ask you a small vanilla iced coffee, please?
Small vanilla iced? Absolutely. Well, I mean, I come from a really, really small town. Like, we just got a Walmart, so it's kind of a big deal. But I love Milledgeville, I really do. I decided to stay here for a little while and start saving up money before I move on to another larger city. And I think Milledgeville has a ton of great stuff to do. We have a movie theater, we have a mall, we have all of these great shops downtown like Blackbird, and a lot of great restaurants too.
Yeah, Milledgeville is a great area. I'm actually from Atlanta. So when I decided to come here, I knew it was not too far away from home, so if I needed a place to go home really quick for an emergency, I could go back real quick, but it's also a place where I can have freedom away from my family, so it's like the perfect place for me. It's a big change. There's a lot more friendlier people here, so I can just go up to anyone and say hi, and then I'll get a nice smile and a wave back. In Atlanta, you don't usually get that. I'll see the same people on the streets, and we'll start forming bonds. I got a lot of friends that are here. My best friends I met just because I went up and said hi to them just in the local shops down here.
757.
300.
Who's doing 300?
300.
Well, my hat is what my children call my Chicken Little hat. And I'm wearing it today because I am at the Kentucky Derby, that is a party being sponsored by St. Stephen's Episcopal Church. It's a fundraiser for the church, and this is just the kind of thing that I enjoy about Milledgeville. There's always something unique, something creative going on. I think my favorite thing is that you know generations. I have known, growing up here, I knew my grandparents' friends, I knew my parents' friends, and then my friends, and then raising children here, continued it on through another generation. So it's a multi-generation thing, and you're really invested in the history of the people and the history of the town. I like Milledgeville because you have the small town atmosphere, but you have everything that you need to just really enjoy life here. Everything from recreation with Lake Sinclair and the activities along the Greenway and the river, to education. You have Georgia College, you have Georgia Military College, you have Central Georgia Technical College, and we have lots of culture. The programs at Georgia College and GMC, and then I'm the director of the local history museum, Georgia's Old Capitol Museum at the Depot. Milledgeville was the capital of Georgia during the Civil War, and the secession convention was held here. Sherman slept here, along with lots of Union troops. And so it's very rich in history, and yet it's a very vibrant college town too. And so you can go downtown and you can get everything from jerk chicken to sweet potato fries to a Deep South dinner.
Many of the people I know, of course, are from Georgia College, and they come from across the country, across the world, and they come to Milledgeville and like it enough to stay. And they stay, they don't expect to stay all along when they get here. They might stay 3 years, 5 years, so forth, and they stay 20 years, and it's a blink of an eye. Milledgeville is a hometown, not my hometown, but a hometown. You almost get that sense immediately when you move here. People are so dear and loving, so accepting. In fact, the first day I went to St. Stephen's Church, I was welcomed. He says, "Are you Doug Goings?" Someone knew who I was before I got there. And it's always been friendly and loving. Everyone I meet, and not unique to Milledgeville, but everyone I meet is friendly and loving. It's a wonderful hometown. It's a hometown atmosphere. It's small, but still, it has everything we need. Well, I think my time here has been 22 years, and again, it's you come in as a stranger, but it's part of life. It's part of being a family, and that the family that is simply accepting of each other, even when there are problems. But that's what this hometown is. Any hometown, I think, is that way. And so I like being here, and I'll be here for a while yet.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
Hi.
I was born here and lived here all my life, except for 3 years in the service. And I was stationed in Germany and had a chance to make captain and go to Vietnam or come back and go to work at my dad's hardware store. Well, you have to carry a lot of stuff, but it's interesting because people come in and they don't really know what they want. They tell you, I've got a broken valve, what can I do? And you tell them how to fix it and show them how to fix it. And then they appreciate it. And most of the time they come back and trade with you some more. You got regular bolts. You got rubber washers, large rubber washers. I mean, just all this, this stuff that you can probably go to another store and buy it in a package, but we'll sell you one. We'll sell you half of one if you need to. We'll cut it in half.
Can you help this man?
Hey, Ronnie.
You can't help me.
How
You
you
ain't
doing?
been here so long.
We're going to put you on TV. Come on.
Come here, Daisy. Come here, Daisy. Come here, Daisy. Daisy. Don't be shy.
Hey, puppy. I just hope mine please sit here and work with us instead of working with you.
Exactly. I really am. Hoping that he does.
All right. Thanks, so.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day out there. Don't work too
Thank
hard.
you. The boss man thanks you.
Yes.
Thank you, David. We'll see y'all.
Well, I was born and raised in Milledgeville. I've been here all my life. Great place to live, and when I was young, little boy, I remember my grandmother. That's how I got the name of my restaurant, Miss Stella's. I named after my grandmother. I think it's a great family-based place. You can raise your family here. It's quiet. Good neighborly, friendly people. Let this side up there. We got grilled chicken, smoked chicken, and smoked turkey wings. That we got. Yes, sir. There's gonna be some good eating now. Want to see me bust some wood? Do it the old-fashioned way. Put this in the fire box right here. Ooh. Hot. Chitlin right here. The chitlin, the Southern tradition. Good old chitlin. Collards. We got mac and cheese, got green beans, got rutabagas, got grilled pork chops, got peas, got lima beans. Yes, sir. Gonna be some good eating today. Some real good eating. Yes, sir. At Miss Stella, at the place to be. What's going on with you? Doing all right?
Good. Everything's good.
Okay. All right. So if anybody looking and wondering about Milledgeville, this is the place to be,
We've been in business for 131 years, but we've only been in Milledgeville since 1909. Daddy started buying colored diamonds probably in the 60s when nobody even heard of them. And we sold a few back then, but not as many as we're selling now. So, you know, when people will start talking about the chocolate diamonds as a new thing, they've been around for a long time. Most people just didn't know about it. We know most everybody in town, well, at least I used to, but Milledgeville has grown so much that we don't know everybody like we used to. Like when I was younger, if we did anything wrong, Mother and Daddy knew about it before we even got home. Somebody would see us and call and tell on us. That's good and bad. Kept us out of trouble for the most part.
This was the first mental health institution in the state of Georgia, incorporated in 1840. And the history of mental health in the state of Georgia is here in Milledgeville. It had its own police department, fire department, post office with a zip code. Milledgeville zip code is 31061. Central State Hospital zip code is 31062. It had the world's largest kitchen at one time. It had a bus service that ran around. It had a medical surgical hospital unit, housing for staff, dormitories, schools. Everything that you needed was out here. It was a city within itself. Everything that the patients needed, they tried to provide for them. A lot of the families became a dumping ground for them, especially during the Depression. You didn't have enough money to feed yourself, and you had a family member that was mentally ill, because the hospital was an asylum for epileptics, for mentally ill people, for what they termed idiots back in the day, which was a medical term back in the day. An idiot, a moron, or imbecile were for mentally retarded or developmentally disabled people. That was a medical term until it became a slur. They always were concerned about the privacy of the patients, so they didn't give out your full name. Even in death, they would put a number on a stake and it corresponded to your record.
Each one represents a person, actually a person's entire life, that was buried here on the grounds of Central State. Over the years, a lot of the stakes became displaced, and the council that I'd mentioned earlier, I was able to work with them using metal detectors to collect. Memory serves, there are about 1,800 of them right here. I was just honored to be part of this. I was kind of a go-between between them and the hospital, kind of a catalyst for the whole thing, and to be perfectly honest with you, a bit of a burr under the saddle when it came to some state agencies and so forth to try to see this through. Particularly putting it on the National Register, because we had a lot of pushback on that from people that said it couldn't be done because nobody famous was buried here. And my reaction to that was, here's 25,000 people. That doesn't equal one famous politician or something? Come on, just the totality of it is worthy of preservation and recognition. I mean, when you just look at a stake here, I mean, was this a child? I don't know. Was this somebody that was 90 years old? I don't know. Was this somebody that was a professional person that ended up here? Could be. Was this somebody that was a tenant farmer that ended up here? I don't know. But I don't see how you can come out here and surround yourself and just not think about all these thousands and thousands of people. without a name.
Such is the way of the world, you can never know just where to put all your faith.